As we enter the conference title games this weekend, I want you to all look at the NFC title game and tell me what the anomaly is. Who doesn't fit in this new era of QBs? What stands out? Okay, you could say Aaron Rodgers. He's there, but he's kind of thrown in the middle of the old era and the new era, and he's still going. He has some time left. But there's one guy who has defied the odds of time. He's defied the odds of age. He has defied the odds of a divorce with the greatest coach of all time that ended with him going to the conference title game with a franchise who hadn't made it there since 2002 season. He defies the exact point I'm pushing right now that we are in a new era of stars because he's the only one left. Tom Brady. And I'm here to say, I told you. For years I've heard the same old crap. Tom Brady is done. The Patriots dynasty is over. Tom Brady sucks. He only wins by cheating. He's a system quarterback. He gets lucky every time. Folks, people don't typically last long in this league. It's not normal for QBs to play more than 15 to 18 years, and that's pretty great. It's not normal to be in the conference championship 8 times in a row. It has taken many franchises, ones like Buffalo and Cleveland, who have, overcame that hump this year. It took over 2 decades for them to even win one single playoff game. One. Tom Brady has 32. He has triple the playoff losses than the Bills and Browns have ever stepped foot on a playoff turf. When Apple took over Microsoft, people called it the end of an era for Microsoft. Gave all the cards to Apple to run the technology world. As of 2020, over 1.4 billion Apple products are owned across the globe, smashing Microsoft. Sure, Microsoft Office is still widely used for emails and stuff. I use Microsoft for email and other things, but we're talking computers and iPhone devices. It's not even close. Tom Brady is Microsoft. It was the product early on and into the middle of his career. Since then, a new product is taken over, and yet there's still a bit of Microsoft left. Tom Brady is that little bit of Microsoft. He's the only one still going, and he's the only one still succeeding. One of the top hits in Broadway in this century was Hamilton, based on the true story off of transcript, scripts, books, written letters on Alexander Hamilton, one of the founding fathers of this country. It's a story of a guy who came from nothing, landed in the U.S. He had a vision, had one of the greatest minds in history, fought in the Revolutionary War, wrote 51 essays of the Federalist Papers leading to the Constitution. He was George Washington's right-hand man. He defended the Constitution in court. He wrote financial systems into existence. We wouldn't have banks if it weren't for Alexander Hamilton. He did have a bad side. Turns out he had a lot of enemies, pissed a lot of people off. His arrogance got in the way and led to his death. But that's where greatness has a price. There's a line. If you're over great, people aren't going to like you. There's quotes like from the play, "I'm a diamond in the rough, a shiny piece of coal. Don't be shocked when your history book mentions me. I never thought I'd live past 20. Where I come from, some get half as many. I wrote my way out of hell. I wrote my way to revolution. I was louder than the crack in the bell. I wrote about the Constitution and defended it well." Tom was the 199th pick in the draft. 199. No one believed in him. He was one of those guys that would last for a few years, be a backup in his career, or be done. He had a vision. He worked his butt off. He studied film. He wrote things down. He took a shot at an opportunity that was handed to him in New England. Most of the guys of his background are a backup, have short careers. He beat the odds of a late-round pick. He beat the odds of time. He's made history, written in record books, time and time again. He gave his life to football and to the Patriots organization like Alexander Hamilton gave his life to starting a free country. You could say that George Washington to Hamilton was the Bill Belichick to Tom Brady. Excelled together, created a dynasty, but when they went on to be great and excel by their own, they didn't need them in their corner. Hamilton's band of brothers featured in this play, Marquis de Lafayette, John Lawrence, Hercules Mulligan. They were the Randy Moss, the Wes Welker, the Julian Edelmans to Tom Brady. They are the leader of the men. They paved the way for all of their success. Tom Brady, Alexander Hamilton made all of them better and stamped their names into the history book. That doesn't just happen. Microsoft still has a platform, still has geniuses in the company. Hamilton died as one of the founding fathers. You don't get lucky 32 times in the playoffs. It's not happening. Tom Brady may not have not been the most athletic guy or have the best arm ever. Tom Brady just wins. He's a winner. He's a leader. He understands the game and has made a life of it. So for all of you out there who doubted him after year, or cheered against him, shame on you. In 50 years, when we're grandparents, we'll tell our grandkids about football. They're going to be football fans. What will be the easiest story to tell? It's a story of Tom Brady, the New England Patriots, and a dynasty because they won over and over and over. It's burned in our brains. That's what I grew up on, was the New England Patriots winning. Can we just embrace that? Can we learn to enjoy that we have a once-in-a-lifetime football player living in real time? And he's moved on, and he's continuing it outside of that dynasty, making it even more great. So for everyone who picked New Orleans Saints this weekend, I have several. We listed them off the other day. A lot of the guys, I asked for their scores. They all picked New Orleans. I told you weeks ago that Tom Brady and the Bucs were going to make the conference title. It's in our bracket that we did before the playoffs even started. To me, this was the easiest pick of the playoffs. Tom Brady does not lose to the same team 3 times in a year, and he never will. A new era in football it is. I'm excited about it. We are sitting in the same spot that 20-year-olds in the early 2000s were sitting in. New talent, new rivalries, a new spectrum across the league. I'm ecstatic about it. But there's still one guy there, and one guy who will be in the way for a couple more years. And there's nothing you can do about it. Tom Brady's playing in his 14th conference title game. I'll never doubt him, and neither should you. I told you. Tom Brady is here, and you'll see him again on Sunday. And I hope you enjoy the 60 minutes of Tom Brady and the Aaron Rodgers show. Last call.